Kinda, sorta.
It's red.
It is red.
Well, pretend.
And there's a balloon floating in here. What?
What? Magic.
Welcome back to our McWorld. I'm Mallory.
I'm Courtney, and today we're about to do another flick or flop.
And in honor of Halloween, we're watching It and
It. Chapter 2.
Chapter 2.
It's.
Yep, It's.
No apostrophe. Grammar, son.
Yep. So, I read the book recently. I just finished it yesterday. So I know what happens. Well, I know what happens in the book. Sometimes the movie is not the same, as we know. So at the end, after we watch it, we can talk about the differences, I will tell you.
Okay.
I've told you a little bit about it, but what else do you think about it?
I'm terrified. I don't like scary movies. I don't really like, clowns don't really bother me, but I thought that it was just a clown, and I'm normally okay with movies that could actually happen, but then Mallory told me that it was not just a clown, and so now I'm more worried about the situation.
Because it's a monster.
Yeah, so I don't think I've ever seen a Stephen King movie. I feel like it's going to be real creepy, but I don't know. A lot of people made out like it was pretty good, and so...
Yeah. I have watched the old It. It was a mini TV series. It's like a 2-part thing from like the late 80s or early 90s or something. And it was fine.
I did not watch it.
It was comical, but I don't know if it meant to be. It kind of like all old movies, like you know how they have like the loud music and sound effects and things? It's like crazy, and everybody's just out. I don't know, it just seems like everybody just acts outrageous, kind of.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm hoping that the new ones will be better, and the clown, because Pennywise in the first one wasn't very scary looking
Well,
to me.
I've seen Pennywise in this one, and he's pretty scary, but I don't know what to expect with it not being just a clown. It not being just a clown. So...
Yeah, I'll be curious because, yeah, it is not just a clown in the books. And in the first movie, it wasn't just a clown either. But
Yeah.
it was different than the book. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
I feel like it's going to be, I guess I expect it to be creepy and to scare me a little bit, and probably give me nightmares.
Yeah, I hope it's creepy because the first one was not creepy. So I hope this one's a little bit like it scares me a little bit. I don't like clowns, so I've
Yeah.
always thought clowns were creepy, just in general. But
So, now we're going to go watch 5 hours worth of movies, and then we'll check back in with you guys.
let you know what we thought.
Yes. Bye for now!
So realistic.
Looks just like a balloon. Square balloons exist.
Square balloons probably exist.
Yeah. And we're back.
5 hours later.
Yes. Insert SpongeBob graphic here.
Yeah, I'll put that in the middle.
Yeah. 5 hours later. So, we have now watched It Chapter 1 and It Chapter 2, the new ones like from 2017 and 2019.
Yep. Were you super scared?
No. I wasn't super scared. Or really that scared. Parts of it were kind of, obviously parts of it were really creepy.
Yeah.
And there were a couple of things that were kind of scary, but mostly they built the music up to where there was only really like one jump scare.
Yeah, most of the time you could tell when something was going to happen, so I didn't really jump,
No.
Sometimes movies will stuff that'll get me, and I'm like Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah.
maybe scream out loud. But anyway, but it was definitely a lot creepier than the old movie. But it was very funny.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I didn't know what to think, but.
Especially chapter 1. I like chapter 1 better than chapter 2 because chapter 2 was more of the. Well, first of all, it was kind of weird how they were like basically it was kind of an alien or something.
Yeah.
That was kind of confusing. But chapter 1 was way funnier than chapter 2 also. But yeah, so it's kind of weird to where it was like, oh, and it's an alien that came down, and I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I guess we could keep talking about what we thought about the movie, and then I'll pause and start to talk about more about the book in relation.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I guess you already know. If you want to go read the book, I guess you can stop watching this. But
And sleep. Now, let me just say this, though. They did a jam-up job casting adult Eddie.
yeah,
That guy could have literally been that little kid grown.
yeah, he looked a lot like him.
Yeah. But, really, the kids all did a really great job in chapter 1. And the adults did good in chapter 2 also. But, I mean, both of them I thought were good. I enjoyed them both.
Yeah, I liked them both. I've been some scary movies I've seen recently, or I say recently, but haven't been that, they haven't really been too scary or too good.
Yeah.
But I actually really like both of these. Like they were a lot funnier than I thought. And then the clown was definitely pretty creepy.
Yeah.
Of a clown.
Yeah,
Which
it
I'd
was.
seen Pennywise, that version, and people cosplaying as Pennywise before.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
so, now I'll be a book snob. I'm just kidding.
Book snob.
But, every time you read a book and then you watch something, it's going to be different.
Yeah.
So, the main things, well, obviously, one of the main things was that they moved the timeline, or like, in this one, it was like they were kids in the 80s and then adults like now. And in the book, they were kids in the 50s and adults in the 80s, which the book came out in the 80s, so that makes sense. And I guess, I can understand why they would move it up, because you could do more, because you had more like technology and more stuff available to you in the 80s as opposed to the 50s, I guess. So that was fine. I mean,
And you just don't have to retrofit extras and sets and cars and all that as much if you...
Yeah.
Like if they'd have filmed them one in the 50s and one in the 80s, they'd have had to retrofit
Twice. Everything twice. So, but that was fine. As far as, like, you were talking about the alien thing.
Yeah.
So, that's sort of kind of how the book was. It wasn't really an alien. But, because towards the end of the book, you got to read a little bit from its perspective.
Oh.
And it was basically like a being, because there was like another being called the turtle. And the turtle was kind of like the good guy, and then it was like the bad guy. And it's like they were these beings that have been around since the beginning of time, basically.
What?
And then once the universe was, the turtle created the universes. So then it decided to come to this universe, like however long ago. And then it decided that the best way to that children were the easiest targets, I guess, and the best way to get to them was like when you're trying to think, or what do kids like? And that's why it would be a clown sometimes. So it was kind of, obviously it was a weird where it came from.
Yeah.
So like what they they did in the movie, I thought was a pretty good way to kind of make it a little bit easier to understand, I guess. Like, because that ritual they did do, like, they didn't do it like that, like the movie where they had the box thing.
Yeah.
And they went in and did the chant. That's not what happened. But there was like a ritual, but so I guess like as far as the ending goes, like Bill and Richie went into the light, the deadlights, and managed to kill it from inside. But Eddie, like, did stab it. Like, Eddie had stabbed it from the outside. But I don't know. So Eddie did also die in the book.
Oh.
At the end, saving them. But somehow, yeah, they went into the deadlights and, like, killed it. So I don't know. It was not exactly the same, but I kind of understand why.
Well, thank goodness they left out that bit about the turtle.
Yeah.
That would have been goofy.
Yeah.
Also, Stephen King was in this one, trying to act like he's Stan Lee or something.
Yeah, making a cameo.
Get out of here.
Now, I will say the first movie, It, from the 80s, had things from the book that the new movies didn't have in them. Well, okay, so first of all, in case you haven't read the book, here's a little bit of disturbing thing for you. Is in the book, there's like a kid orgy, kind of.
Awkward.
Because all the little kids, well, all the little kids have sex with Bev. I'm still not entirely sure why. She was like, so we can all stay connected, but it didn't really make a lot of sense. And also it was weird because they were like 11.
Yeah, that's a creep fest right there.
So I knew that wasn't going to be in the movie because it's probably not legal to even pretend, to have all these kids pretend. So that was not a surprise, and also not a bad thing that it wasn't in the movie.
Yeah.
Because it was freaking weird when it was in the book. I was like, I feel like a weird even reading it.
Yeah.
But the other, I'm trying to think like the main, well, one of the things is like that I didn't like in the book that didn't happen in either one of the movies was that Bill and Beverly slept together as adults.
Oh.
No. Which also, it was, I don't know, it was weird. That's when that was happening is when she remembered that she had already done slept with all of them when they were kids. But
Creepy.
yeah. So I didn't appreciate that because Team Ben over here.
Back to the ships.
You know there will be ships.
Well, hey.
Which, it all ended, the book didn't really, like, both of the movies ended on a more, I guess, like, in the books led you to believe, like, when everybody left, because what happened in the first old movie and in the book was Bill's wife actually followed him to Derry, and Tom, Bev's husband, followed her. So then it took them, and Audra, like what happened to Bev in the first movie when she got that's what happened to Audra,
Okay.
Bill's wife, and Tom got killed or something, but nobody cared because he was like even worse in the book, and so was Bev's dad. He was worse in the book too. Like he smacked her around all the time.
Yeah.
In addition to being like a creepy dude, but so he couldn't figure out, like at the end of the whole book after they defeated it and whatever, they got Audra because she was like tied up in there or whatever in the spider web.
Yeah.
And took her out, but she was like out like comatose kind of. And so the way that he saved her was to put her on his bicycle. And because he had found the bicycle in the store, except for he didn't ride it around like he did in this one, in this movie. But he found it, and then he decided that seemed like a good idea. And so he took her for a ride, and it worked, and she woke up again. That happened in the old movie, too.
Yeah.
But she didn't even come. She didn't even come for this one, which was a little bit concerning to me, because I'm like, they better not be trying to change the ending on this one.
She was getting nervous.
But in the book, though, they said, like, Mike was, how he was, like, telling whatever, said that when they left, that Beverly went with Ben, and they went back to Nebraska, where he lives, together. And that Mike was betting that they were going to be together, kind of. But in the first movie, they straight up got together and got married and were having a baby at the end.
Well,
not in this one, but they did end up together, so that was good for me.
Take what you can get.
That's what I wanted.
Yeah,
I just love little Ben.
He was very cute.
Yeah, he was so sad. In the books, it made it even sadder because, of course, he talked about how he was so lonely and he didn't have no friends.
Oh, like the little kid in Waiting for Santa.
Yeah.
Listen, every freaking kid in Derry was a total jerk.
Yeah, man.
Except for the main people. Everybody else was a bully or a sadist.
Yeah.
There's some crazy people living in that town. So see, here's what I'm wanting to know though. Here's what trips me out. So, it preys on these kids, but the stuff that happens to them that's terrifying doesn't happen to them per adults.
Yeah.
So what goes on there? Because, like, if it kills you, you're still dead.
Yeah. I think their kind of explanation at least in the book, I don't think they ever really explained it in the movie.
No.
Was that when you're an adult, you don't believe anymore. You don't believe in supernatural, and so you have to believe it's there to be able to see it, that it's there.
That was like terrible Santa.
Yeah. You have to believe in the boogeyman. You have to believe in your imaginary friend or they turn into the boogeyman.
What? That's not true. They go to Foster's.
You ever seen Don't Look Under the Bed?
No, you ever seen Foster's Home for
Because-
Imaginary Friends? Imaginary friends go live at Foster's when you don't believe in them anymore.
And turn into the boogeyman.
No, and they get adopted by other people, which never really made any sense to me. That part was a bit far-fetched. Having a home for imaginary friends, that's fine. But how can you adopt somebody else's imaginary friend?
Yeah.
There ain't no way.
No.
That part was ridiculous.
Just that part.
Just that part.
But yeah, I'm trying to think. The main other things, I think were a lot of, like, the second movie really filled in some gaps that were left by the first movie that in my head, like things that happened to them when they were kids, they put in the second movie. So that was good. So like some of the stuff that they had seen and gone through when they were kids, we finally got to see it in their clubhouse and stuff they built, or Ben built for them, that they put that in there, and I thought that was cool.
That wasn't up to code.
No. But then the some of the little differences were like the things like in these movies compared to the old movie, they mostly saw, well, I don't know, because like Eddie did see the leper in the book. And Richie did see the Paul Bunyan statue thing.
Yeah.
But him and Bill also went, when they went, because like Eddie went to the Nebolt Street place, and that's where he saw the leper. So Bill and Richie went back and they saw this werewolf because Richie had went and seen a movie about werewolves.
Oh.
So he saw it as a werewolf, kind of, in that instance. And then Ben had seen a mummy, and I don't know, some of the little things like that were different, and where things took place
Yeah.
were different in the movie. Like Ben didn't go to the school; he went to the library, or whatever. So there was a couple things like that were just slightly different, or
Yeah.
But overall, I thought they were very good, like movie adaptations of the book. They didn't leave out any like big things that I missed. Once we watched both of them.
Yeah. I
They
guess that's why they
incorporated-
split it into two, so they could get more
Yeah,
instead of, which I know the first one was technically split into two, but it was still only like 30 hours long.
yeah,
Whereas the more recent ones were over 2 hours apiece for like 5 hours total. So
yeah. And these were definitely. I guess I don't have a big appreciation for like some people do for movies that were made in like the 80s and early 90s. Because I feel like the acting is so dramatic, like it's so weirdly over the top.
yeah,
It seems like, compared to, I mean, you can have somebody, I feel like when they were screaming about stuff in that movie, it seemed ridiculous, and when they were doing it in this movie, it didn't.
yeah,
I don't know what the difference is. It just seems, maybe it's because, where I grew up, movies I grew up watching, I didn't watch a lot of.
Well, I think older horror movies too, it seemed like the only way to express fear was to scream,
Yeah.
rather than like having a panic attack or having an asthma attack or
And like the music, like the soundtracks,
yeah,
were so much more like in your face than older
Yeah.
scary movies. It's like almost too much with
Yeah.
the music. Like you gotta have some creepy music, but like some of them are like dun 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 dun,
yeah,
I'm like, okay.
yeah. We get it. Something's about to happen. Yeah,
But yeah, I thought these were good. I liked them. I liked both of them. I thought they were good scary movies, and they weren't like super scary,
no,
but I think they were good scary movies. I guess they had a good
Yeah.
balance of like creepy stuff and like humor and
yeah,
that some movies don't have.
yeah. I think they were good. Definitely check them out.
Hopefully, and we were like, they're not going to give us nightmares, and tonight we're going to be like laying there in the dark. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm going to have a nightlight.
If we have all these nightmares, we're gonna come back and update this show and tell y'all forget everything we said.
Don't watch it.
Don't watch it.
It's like some of like the creepiest things, which we talked about this the other day, dates back to like some of my random childhood fears, like stuff bubbling up out of drains.
Yeah.
Are You Afraid of the Dark did that to me. Made me, I don't know why. I never liked those round drains.
I just didn't watch junk like that when I was a kid. I knew I couldn't handle it.
I do love, I've always, that's funny because I've always loved scary stuff, but then it also sometimes does scare me.
Yeah.
I've only seen The Grudge once
I didn't take a
because
chance.
it kind of freaked me out.
Yeah.
I don't like when things crawl up walls
No.
or walk, like the lady was walking in this movie. You know,
Herky,
she was
like
in the-
herky jerky.
Yeah, background, I don't like
Yeah, I
that.
don't like that.
That's creepy. I mean, it's good, but it's creepy.
I don't watch a lot of scary movies, so I can't draw on a ton of experience. But I previously, heretofore, did not like real creepy looking characters. And maybe I'm more numb to it because I watched The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of the things in here, other than the clown, were zombie-esque.
Yeah, like
So-
they had that rotting.
Yeah,
Look,
although
so-
definitely the second one had a classic Family Feud meme moment in it. And we won't tell you what that is so that you can be surprised. But if you've ever looked at funny responses on Steve Harvey's Family Feud, you'll know what we're talking about when you get there.
Yeah.
But not that we ain't already ruined the whole movie for you, but I guess we can just tell you because you don't know how the movie ends now. But definitely when What's-Her-Face went, first of all, listen to me, Linda/Bev. Why you gonna go in this creepy woman's house when you literally are living a horror movie?
Yeah.
And you go home and you think, or back to your childhood home, and this lady's like, come in for a drink. And you're like, yeah, sure. What? No! Don't go in there. And then guess what? Naked grandma! And you've been trying to be killed by naked grandma.
Right?
So,
People make terrible decisions in horror movies.
yes, they do.
They hear creepy noises and think, I should follow that.
Or they hear people summoning them even though they know they done lived this one time and they mostly remembered that they lived it one time, and yet here we go still crawling into the sewer. See, this kind of stuff would not happen to me. I don't like being in the dark. Nobody gonna get me in the dark unless they get me while I'm asleep. Now, that's terrifying. But if it's like a dark cave or something, I mean, I like going in caves, but on guided tours. I ain't gonna go on my own, and I certainly am not gonna go without a flashlight or like that little girl went under the bleachers, and then here's this creepy freaking clown. Heck no, girl. First of all, that second part was in like 20-something recent, and we literally had murder clowns in the forest like a couple years ago. So, you shouldn't be talking to clowns under the bleachers.
No.
That clown never would have got me like that. I can tell you.
Nope.
Suck on that, yet. Yeah, anyway. It wouldn't have got me, that's all I'm saying.
It's safe from the clown.
If it ever had got me, though, it would have been all over for my kind, because there ain't no way I could have been not scared of it. They kept saying they weren't scared of it, but they were. And see, that's a little bit of a flaw in the movie. Because they're like, we're not afraid of you. But they were afraid of it. But then, of course, later I think they really weren't afraid of it.
Mm-hmm.
But no. If it had got me, it would have just got me. I've been floating. But I wouldn't have got myself in a position to be got.
Yeah. You gonna chase your boat into the sewer?
No. If the boat look, if anything goes in the sewer, I'm not going in there. The only thing good about the sewers is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But that's it.
Yeah.
Now, if it pretended to be a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, it might could get me. but otherwise, if something my own falls in the sewer, it's just lost forever.
Yeah.
I
I
mean-
ain't going into the sewer. I don't like the idea of that in general. Mostly in real life, it's because there's probably critters.
At
And
least.
spiders.
We don't have sewers where we live
No.
because we live in the country. So sewers are creepy.
Yeah.
This in general. I don't like it when there's sewer grates. I don't like walking over those. Now I'm doubly not going to walk over them, I can tell you. I'm a straight up avoid them now.
Yeah.
But except for Mal and I have had the idea, don't tell nobody, that we're going to blow up some real balloons around Halloween next year and tape them to the inside of some sewer grate. We're going to go out in the middle of the night and do it. Probably get arrested. More on that.
And Armic World is over because
Yeah.
the two of them got arrested trying to scare people.
So if we do get arrested, well, somebody will set up a GoFundMe and we'll link to it here.
Yeah. The bailout fund
Yeah.
for these weirdos who are trying to be funny.
Yeah.
Well, let's go tie it around people we know.
Yeah. For
They
sure.
Probably wouldn't have us arrested.
No, mostly I'm just thinking if we're out doing it in the middle of the night
Oh
and just the cops show up
that's happened.
on a random
Well,
patrol.
The cops ain't showing up on us.
The
Well,
cops show up when we're
I
doing
mean-
weird stuff sometimes.
Yeah, we did. The cops did show up once when we were looking for a geocache on a billboard.
Yeah.
Not like up on a billboard, but
No, we were on the ground.
he was like, "What you guys doing?"
Yeah. So, you know, maybe we'll rethink this plan.
We're gonna get some red balloons, and
We'll just take a day off from work and go when people are at work.
yeah,
Then it won't be as suspicious. It probably would still. Honestly, if I came home from work and there was a red balloon, that'd be like Harry Potter coming home and the dark marks over your house.
yeah,
Oh, that'd be the bomb now. That'd be dangerous. But if we could climb up on the top people's houses and get big red balloons
oh yeah.
and tie them off the top of their house,
Mhm.
that would be really dynamite.
It's like horror up.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, not like it wouldn't necessarily have to be 8 million balloons, but just like one balloon.
A big, giant balloon.
Yeah, like this one. Anyway, that was it, and that was it. This is it for it.
So, definitely not a flop.
Nope, not a flop.
They were both good.
Yes.
So check them out.
Let
If
us
you like scary movies.
let us know what you think in the comments. Like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Come back to watch us whine about things and do lists.
We'll watch a bunch of other movies that aren't all scary movies.
No. We'll watch very few other scary movies. Actually.
So
So
the list is small.
it is for me.
But alright.
We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.